Hi, it's Mike Pallin with a micro training session for you from the Floyd Wickman program. Today's topic is control, positive control, specifically you being in positive control on a listing appointment. Boy, if there's one thing we hear over and over from our graduates is that one of the major benefits they get from taking the program is they feel so much more confident because nobody slaps them around when they're on a listing appointment anymore. They feel in control of what's going on. And one of the ways they do that is by their opening little segment when they get to the kitchen table. It's called the setup. And it begins with a question. Are you familiar, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, with what we call the expired list? And the reason we ask that question is, will people do whatever it takes to get on the sold list? And the answer, of course, is no. But they will do whatever it takes to stay off the expired list. Wouldn't it be nice if the sellers took all our advice and did everything we asked them to? Yeah, well, they won't if it's just to get on the sold list, but if it's to stay off the expired list, you've got a shot at them taking your advice and making that listing more marketable. So you begin with the question, are you familiar with what we call the expired list? And make sure you've done your research and you've printed out all the most recent expireds. Some of our graduates even take a book with them that goes back years to show all the people who tried to sell but couldn't. Well, if they're not familiar with the expired list, then define it for them. This is a list. I took the liberty to print out a copy and bring it for you tonight. This is a list of people whose homes were on the market and they tried to sell but couldn't. And in my opinion, they had two things in common. The first was, because their home didn't sell, they had to change their plans. I'd hate to see that happen to you. And the second was, again, in my opinion, these folks and their agent never should have agreed to work together in the first place, because look at what happened. So to prevent this from happening to you, I've come up with a very simple 5-step process I use whenever I meet with a new client for the first time. We find it takes all the guesswork out of us trying to decide whether or not we should join forces and work together. So what I propose is, let me show you how I work, and if it's all right with you, we'll just do things one step at a time together tonight. Put our heads together to make sure we keep you off this expired list. Fair enough? That's what we call the setup. Now, what I recommend you do is you grab a partner or partners and practice this little dialogue using your own words, but accomplish those things that I accomplished with that dialogue. And practice it till you master it, because repetition is the foundation of skill. I hope you've enjoyed this micro training session from the Floyd Wickman program. Thank you.